Hello Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And please remember, for those of you who watch these training vlogs every day, please click like down below. It would be so appreciated. It's just to offset those dislikes, and it can be disheartening to only get 20 likes when thousands of you guys actually watch it, and then I'll get more comments, positive comments, than I will likes. So if you guys watch these, please click like to offset the dislikes. It'd be appreciated. So we're going to do something a little different. Yes, I'm doing another max effort press day. And I'm kind of play on the idea I talked about of really focusing on max effort work and repetition effort, and doing so in a way that I can recover from based upon my lifestyle. What I'm going to mess with for a little experiment, I'll explain in a lot more detail. It's looking at a lot of stuff that different guys in Conjugate have done, looking at what a lot of people have done with things like the Chaos and Pain people, things like that, and things that I've messed with in the past. And I want to run at least one phase here of where I do maxes at a very high frequency, but separating it into an upper-lower with completely random lifts, followed by large amounts of accessory movements, right? And so this will be done 6, maybe 7 days a week, running an upper-lower back and forth. And I literally made a list of 30 presses, and I'm using a random number generator to pick which one I'm doing. This is number 24 on my list. That's what the number generator came up with. And I'll post some of that later. I'm going to finish the sheet for squatting and deadlifting too, and show you guys what I'm doing with it. It's just a different way of doing it. Some people might say, oh, you're not really going to do the random. Yeah, I will. It actually has benefits to doing it randomly for what I'm doing with the really high frequency. It actually lowers the stress and anxiety level of maxing out frequently. That's one of the problems I ran into with Bulgarian, with classic lifts. You build an anxiety about that coming max. It removes it when you don't know what exercise you're going to do. So this is 1 inch off the chest. Now, according to my pins, it might be more. This is the pins I had originally measured for my other pin presses. So this is supposed to be my number 10 pin, which is supposed to be 1 inch off my chest on arch, but it may be more. So I may not have a true chest touch even one more pin down. But this is what I had with the football bar. Now, the 315, I couldn't lock it. I broke it off the chest, failed the lock, couldn't get it any higher. So we know there's still general tricep weakness for me, although I felt that really in my chest. Felt it really in my chest, even with that pretty close grip. Because that's pretty similar grip width to my closed grip. And people are like, well, isn't there another bar on the inside? Yeah, but I can't actually touch my chest when I grip those. So that's closer than close grip. So we followed that up with 5 sets of 10 on the closed grip bench, 225. Now, I've already said I'm going to focus a lot on strict pressing, a lot on closed grip pressing, a lot on triceps. So after this workout, I decided to get some good volume in with sets of 10. And this is my baseline. I'm not dropping below 225 for a closed grip, and I'm not dropping below 1 plate per side for pressing. So my work capacity was a little low on the press. I really struggled to get 3 sets in after doing all this other pressing. So we stopped at 3 sets of 10, but closed grip, I believe, this got really hard. I might have only got 9 reps. 9 reps, maybe 10 on the last one. But getting 5 by 10 on this today was a little challenging. We got it. You guys will notice I tend to pause the last rep. So it's all touch and go. Then we get that last rep and try to pause it. Just again, a little higher quality contraction when I know I'm getting close to failure. So these are pretty close to limit sets. Maybe the first set isn't, but after that, I really don't have more sets in the tank. But that's a lot of volume. After failing a max press, that leaves you a little fatigued. Pretty much doing 50 reps with 225 on the closed grip. Pretty challenging. And so what the idea is going to be behind this is that we are going with what I've got. I've actually got videos I've made about this over the last few weeks. Some of them aren't up, of discussing really any sort of hybrid type training. Singles and tens are probably your ideal ranges. And again, stuff I can probably discuss further later. I'll discuss later. And I don't know how long I'll keep this experiment up, because I got really good progress doing the straight conjugate. I just felt like I wanted a little more change to focus more on doing more maxes and more volume. Right? More of that. I want to specialize a little bit. I really need to improve body composition more. And I'm in a situation to where, especially yesterday was my tester, of I got really fatigued after doing rep work on deadlifts after missing a deadlift. And went to bed really early last night. I crashed out at like 5 o'clock. I woke up in a couple times in the night. You guys might have saw me post a little bit, but then I went back to sleep. I got up at 4 this morning and I felt phenomenal. I slept it off. I literally slept that off. Yesterday was a brutally hard max effort session. I was tired yesterday, but I woke up feeling 100% and I realized, yeah, this experiment will probably work. The main thing is going to be rotating the maxes all the time. Like literally not doing the same max and not having any apprehension about what it is. And what I'm going to do with some of it is going to be avoiding the main classic lift. We'll do close variations. I'm actually going to do some squatting that's not boxed. Stuff I've messed with in the past, even on conjugate years ago. Like reverse band squatting and things. But the main thing is that we remove any lift that we have an emotional attachment to. We get an emotional attachment to the normal pause bench as power lifters. Right? We have an emotional attachment to the back squat, but not a back squat with reverse bands. We don't care. Not a competition lift. So we can max on it without our ego, without an emotional attachment, and we can just come in and just hit what our max is for the day. And we get all the benefits of hitting a max. And because we're doing so many different ones, we, again, low overuse chance, reduce overuse injuries, and then we come in and we do all of our supplemental work for hypertrophy. Now, I wouldn't recommend anybody do what I'm doing. Because again, this is 13 to 15 work sets on a bunch of sets of 10 after hitting a max. And doing this multiple times a week. This is not going to be for most people. So I'm not advocating that you do this. My lifestyle is perfect. My lifestyle is perfect. I run 2 home businesses. I make my own schedule. I have unlimited sleep. I have complete control of my environment. I don't have a single toxic or annoying person in my life, not one. So it's going to be a little bit different for me than a lot of people. But even if it runs into junk volume, I'm not overly concerned because if I'm recovering from it, junk volume just means more food, more rest, higher energy turnover. I'm not that worried. At least I know everything is maximally stimulated. So I'm going to run with it and see how this feels for a little while. If I get tired of it, I'll go right back into my normal conjugate rotation. I have all the equipment to do it. Got good gains doing it. But again, we come over to, I feel like for now, I need just more body composition. And I feel like I need more and more practice at the different max effort lifts. Because some of my max effort days are hit or miss. You guys notice that some of them are great. Others I can't get in my groove. I need more practice with actual heavy lifts again. It's what I have to have. Now, I may not deadlift more than once a week of any type on this. We'll see how that feels. We'll see how that feels. See how many days of the deadlifts I want to rotate in. We'll get at least one, though. But I've got to have more practice. And this lets me, again, assess weak points more and more and more. And I realized I can do this when how easy the chin-ups got. When I got to where I can crank out 100 chin-ups every day and it's no longer even fatiguing, it's like nothing. It really is no big deal. I realized I can make this system work. I've built my work capacity really high. My work capacity has gotten really high at this point. Now I need to capitalize on it to get as much training volume as I can handle and as much max work as I can get away with and still work around it and recover. And that's going to be the name of the game. So again, it's going to be all about my own fatigue management, my own stress management. Make it work. These were challenging. After doing all the other pressing, just 3 sets of 10. 3 sets of 10 with 135 was tough. I'll rebuild the work capacity on this. I was doing 5x10 with this not long ago, but I wasn't doing quite as much work first. So I'm doing a little bit more work first, and I haven't been doing this lift. We'll build it back up. We know I need more shoulder and more tricep in general. So close grip pressing, overhead pressing, dips, small tricep exercises. Now, I messed with the J-arm press again today. I don't know if I'm fully enamored with it. I mean, I felt it, but even if we're going to talk about feeling that deep tricep work, I don't know. I feel it more from my chains. I feel it even more from band press downs. So this may kind of go to the side. I wanted to mess with it, give it an honest go again. I think I've got it down better now, though. But if I have to really add it up, do I really need another compound? I'm already doing all this other pressing. And I know my triceps are a weak link. So I might as well just go for the more direct triceps, just like I'm going for direct hamstrings, right? We're finishing off with things like glute ham raises now. I should probably stick with smaller tricep exercises that I know are going to thoroughly work my weakest link to its absolute limits. And normally we would look at it and say, well, it's giving you a little bit of extra muscles involved, so that's good. But I can do tons of pressing. I mean, if I build up to where I'm doing 5 sets of close grip or dips, and then 5 sets of overhead press multiple times a week in every one of these, the upper body sessions, I don't need extra compound movements for that. I need to get as much tricep activation as possible. So we may go back to the chains, we may go with bands, we may mess with some different stuff. That may be the way to go. And it's not to say these didn't feel good today, but I don't know if they're the best choice for me right now. I don't know if they're the best exercise I could be doing. So we'll evaluate it. Now, again, a lot of people aren't really going to understand what I'm doing here. That's okay. I'll have to explain it further. This is actually, if we use the word conjugate, this would actually be conjugate in its purest form. But it is not the conjugate method. Borrowing enormous elements from it, I've had great success with it so far. I will definitely go back to at some point, probably the traditional template again. But I want to just experiment with something a little different based upon the things that I like most from it and that I think I need the most right now. So I hope this has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.